Hello NFL fans and welcome back to the Wall of NFL channel. In this video today, I'm going to be recapping last night's Thursday night football game between the Broncos and the Browns, and I'll also be previewing and predicting who wins each game in Week 7 on Sunday and Monday night. The Browns came out of the blocks flying last night against the Broncos, and it was almost as if the Broncos kind of forgot that they were playing in a big Thursday night football match. The Browns, with their backups, basically scored 10 points in their first two drives. And I thought it was actually very impressive how D'Ernest Johnson, in his first start as a running back, came out and just went on 145 yards running and a touchdown as well. I thought that was very impressive. Case Keenum as well, he instructed the offense and played very well himself. It wasn't an amazing game, but we got to remember he's just a backup as well, so we can't expect an awful lot. And considering that, I think he had a decent game. The Broncos took until the second half to get a point on the board, but they did start to come back in the second half, late in the fourth quarter. But the Browns' running game in that final drive just completely decimated the Broncos, and they ended up winning the game 17-14. Pretty much just because the Broncos couldn't get a stop in the key situations, like at the very start of the game and at the very end of the game. Teddy Bridgewater and the offense just really struggled to move the ball offensively, and it's looking pretty bleak for the Broncos now as they're bottom of their division. But the Browns, things are looking up for them because now they're 4-3 and maybe they'll start challenging for the AFC North again. I think this Chiefs against the Titans game is going to probably be the best game of the weekend. I think it's going to be high scoring, especially because the Chiefs so far are second in total yards and fourth in total points scored. And they're actually looking like still really high powered, even considering this is the worst stretch of games in Mahomes' career with 8 interceptions in the last 5 games. And also the defense is, I think it's 5th worst in terms of yards in the season. And they've committed more turnovers than any other team so far. So it is going to be a tough game for the Chiefs, but I do think they'll still be able to come out on top. Because if you look at the Titans, yeah, Derrick Henry has 783 yards on the season, and he's on track to break the single season rushing record with over 2,200 yards. So they're going to find it really hard to stop Derrick Henry. But I don't think the rest of the Titans team is that great. They're relying so much on Derrick Henry, and the passing game for the Titans really isn't very impressive. And I think they will struggle, especially defensively, to hold the Chiefs down. I think that the Chiefs, again, do win this one, but it might still be quite close. At the start of the season, I don't think anyone expected this game between the Bengals and the Ravens to decide who tops their AFC North. I think the Bengals have an excellent offense, and whilst it doesn't produce so many yards and so many points, it is so good situationally. And having Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon and a really great balance between whether they throw or run is fantastic for the offense. And I think that the fact that their offense has gotten much better after last year is a really great sign, and I think they're trending in a really positive direction. I don't think this is quite the year that the Bengals are going to really do well. I think they'll have to keep on developing over another off-season, and maybe next year they'll be able to compete with teams like the Ravens, but I think that they are still doing really well, and I am starting to really like Zach Taylor, their head coach, as well. The Ravens, on the other hand, I think are just on another level to the Bengals. Lamar Jackson is definitely an MVP candidate this season. He, despite having only 167 yards and 2 interceptions last week against the Chargers had to defend completely differently against him because he was on the field and he's such a danger when he's there. The defense is the real story, though, after last week's game against the Chargers. They kept the Chargers with Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. They have a really, really great offense, and they kept them to only 1 touchdown and 6 points. I thought it was really impressive. And that defense is getting better and better. And they're fantastic situationally in the fourth quarter and on third downs as well. So they're just a really good side. And I think that the Ravens are actually possibly the best team in the AFC at the moment. I think the Buccaneers are going to be very dominant in this game against the Bears. They have 41 points on average at home this season in the 3 games that they've already played there. and they are just so incredible. And Tom Brady is having the best season of his career so far, which is unbelievable. They have Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, and of course Chris Godwin as well. And the three of them, I think they're all number one receivers, which is unreal. And Leonard Fournette as well just looks absolutely fantastic. So I think that they're going to be unstoppable because it's just so unfair, all of the players on their team. I think the Bears will not be able to cope with them at all. And not to mention that, but they also have the best rush defense in the league as well, which goes completely against what the Bears have. Like, they try to rush the ball more than anything because they have a rookie quarterback. And even though they don't have David Montgomery because of injury, they're still going to try and run the ball with Damian Williams and also Herbert as well, their rookie running back. So I think that they're really going to struggle. And this is going to be like 45 points to maybe 10 to 20. And I think the Bears, they're not going to look good after this game, and nor is Matt Nagy, their head coach. The Colts have really improved in the last few weeks, and despite being 2-4, things are actually kind of looking up for them, as Carson Wentz has only thrown one interception, and he's got a passer rating of over 110 on the season, which I find quite impressive considering he doesn't actually look that great with the eyes. The 49ers, though, I think are going to have the better chance of winning this game, as they have Jimmy Garoppolo coming back from injury, and they also had a bye week as well last week. So I think they're going to have a really good opportunity to win this one. The 49ers offense was very one-dimensional with Trey Lance at quarterback, and they're very predictable as they were just running the ball and then very occasionally throwing. So I think with Jimmy Garoppolo being back, the Colts are going to find it quite difficult to defend against the 49ers. And not to mention, the 49ers also have some of the top linebackers in the league, and of course Nick Bosa on the defensive line. So I think they will get to Carson Wentz, and the Carson Wentz and the Colts are going to struggle in this one, and I think eventually lose the game. This matchup between the Saints and the Seahawks would be really intriguing, I think, if Russell Wilson was healthy. Without Russell Wilson in the game, though, I don't think the Seahawks are going to be able to move the ball at all against the Saints. The Saints are also getting a lot healthier on the team with Quan Alexander, Marcus Davenport, and of course Traquan Smith coming back at wide receiver. So both offense and defense are going to be getting a lot better this week for the Saints. Plus they were coming off of their bye week. So I think that Jameis Winston's going to be really good. And not to mention, but there's a lot of bad sides for the Seahawks as well. They're the worst defense in the league, and they can't really move the ball with Geno Smith. So I think that it's going to be a pretty easy game for the Saints. I think Alvin Kamara is going to have an excellent game this week. So he's going to score a lot of points for the Saints and anyone who starts him on fantasy this week. So in summary, I think the games are going to go as follows. I think the Panthers are going to beat the Giants because the Panthers are better than a 3-game losing streak, and I think it's time they got to win. I think the Patriots are going to beat the Jets because Bill Belichick is really good against rookie quarterbacks. I think the Chiefs are going to beat the Titans because their offense is really top-notch, and the Titans won't really be able to stop them, I don't think. I think that the Packers are going to beat Washington football team because the Washington football team are becoming one of the worst teams in the league, and the Packers are actually becoming one of the best again. I think the Falcons are going to beat the Dolphins because the Falcons are coming off of a bye and they'll be well rested. I think the Ravens will beat the Bengals because they're just a step above the Bengals in quality all over the field, and, you know, they're ready to win the Super Bowl this year, I think. I think the Rams are going to beat the Lions in actually a really close game. I know it's Stafford's revenge game, so he'll be hyped up, but the Lions are desperate to win, so they will keep it close. The Eagles are going to beat the Raiders because the Raiders are coming off a really emotional win, and I don't think that emotion's going to carry over into this game against the Eagles. I think the Cardinals are going to beat the Texans, but at least the Texans are trying each week, right? I think the Buccaneers are going to absolutely demolish the Bears because the Bears will not be able to keep up with the Buccaneers offense at home. I think the 49ers are going to beat the Colts because they have Garoppolo back, and it'll just provide an extra element on offense for the 49ers. And I think the Saints are going to beat the Seahawks because there's no Russell Wilson, and the Saints just have a top defense. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and please also comment down below who you think's going to win each game and what your predictions are for this week. Also, please follow our social media pages, wallofnfl.com, the website with live scores and exclusive articles, and also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the recap video I'll be doing on Tuesday.